It is your wrestling VTuber World Champion Dojon Vaughn, and while today is going to be the draft for WWE, there is something else I did want to go ahead and talk about. Now, if you've been over on Twitter in the past week, you would have heard the news that one of the popular creators for WWE 2K, WhatsTheStatus, has been banned, and if we're being honest, very unfairly so. Hence the hashtag #FreeStatus. And for those of you that don't know who WhatsTheStatus is, allow me to educate you. Imagine you are playing WWE 2K, whether it be 22, 23, 24, so on and so forth. Perhaps somebody comes out with a brand new look, whether it be like Rhea Ripley when she came out and joined the Judgment Day and donned the short black hair, or maybe it was when she went out at WrestleMania and had the longer, fluffier hair. Maybe it was The Rock when he made his return, had the new tattoo and everything. Or maybe even it's somebody else coming out at WrestleMania or on another pay-per-view or another show in general, and they have a brand new look to them. And let's be honest, if you've been playing 2K or WWE games in general, you know that by the time that these games come out, they're already outdated. And more often than not, they don't care to fix or update entrances like that. It is a rarity that they do that. So entrances like The Rock and his final boss entrance, or an albeit not great entrances such as AJ Styles and Bailey, whether or not you want to go, oh, those are good theme songs, because we know they aren't. It still doesn't change the fact that none of that stuff is going to be updated until that of next year for 2K25. And in some case scenarios, some stuff just doesn't get updated ever. Technically speaking, if you want to talk about The Rock, he's been having new tattoos for years. And there's another thing I can go ahead and rant on. Like, fun fact, Sonya Deville had I don't remember the name of her theme song, although I don't think it was ever fully officially released. But for years she had this outdated theme song in 2K up until she got the one that she currently uses. It wouldn't be updated. So you'd have a lot of superstars that would constantly be getting outdated. Or maybe then they come out with a special attire for a pay-per-view, PLE, they come out in return and have a new attire, then you want to go ahead and download it, guess what? Status had you covered. Or maybe they debuted a new championship like they did last year with the World and Undisputed titles. You knew that they weren't going to update them and put them in the game until the following year's edition. But you know what happened? And usually in like under an hour at that too, Status gotcha. There would be situations of that sort where Status would be putting in content that you would be hoping, that you'd hope 2K themselves to go ahead and include. But unfortunately, time after time after time, they just kind of sit there lazily and can't be bothered. And more often than not, WhatsTheStatus would usually be there for the community. And there'll be other ones I've heard as well that have also recently gotten struck, like Prince Marty M. But ultimately, it is very frustrating that we have to deal with 2K kind of neglecting the community. Whenever something needs updating, they ain't gonna bother. They're gonna wait until the next game, until the next year, because hey, in their eyes, it's easier shit to sell, even though that should have been included in the previous game. And I could go on and on and on about ranting when it comes to 2K, because there's a lot of issues with it, and that's coming from somebody that has used or played the game since 2K14, since their first game. They've had a lot of ups, they had a lot of downs. But one major down they have is the poor community support. And shit like this, the fact that, and to my knowledge, it didn't even come with a warning. It just was snapped like that and you're gone. Hopefully they reinstate them. Hopefully this video could at the very least give some of you that don't know about WhatsTheStatus and all this stuff going on a little bit more knowledge on the situation, and hopefully by hook or crook they do reinstate WhatsTheStatus. But also for those that don't follow Status, feel free to go ahead, and I'm also going to include this down in the comments below. Go ahead and feel free to follow them over on Twitter, and hopefully 2K can have some common sense, and please unban this man. Truth be told, more people like Status. A lot of these very hopeful creators should be brought on to help with that of the development of 2K, as well as updates throughout the year for whenever stuff does get outdated. For at the very least, like a couple of months, I don't know. And on top of that, another point of contention with a lot of people And one thing that I have myself, because I do play 2K24 on stream, one thing that for those that do watch me on stream might notice, I never like going onto community creations and having it up while I'm streaming. If I'm going through community creations, I'm going to go ahead and swap to my chat scene like this, instead of going ahead and showing what's on the game, because they'll let a lot of people that upload very suggestive, questionable, and ban-worthy content. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube, but if you know, you know. But they'll go ahead and target people like Status, which is genuinely frustrating. So no. Hopefully they do reverse the ban. I believe they have been made aware of the backlash that they've had, that they do address this. They unban him. And you know what? Stop being so tight-knit. Allow a bit more leeway when it comes to creations. Because I did see that one thing that could have potentially led to the ban was stuff like multiple hairstyles on a model or so, or something like that. When that sort of thing genuinely makes a model or a creator wrestler look a bit more eye-catching. I remember I'd see a lot of custom created, for example, for my Dragon Ball fans, Super Saiyan 4 Vegito or Goku's or Vegeta's, where you can't exactly have or recreate their hairstyle in the game naturally. You know, stuff like that. It just makes things even more creative, eye-catching, and makes me want to interact with that section of the community. And again, if something gets updated or something happens in WWE or maybe even some other wrestling company, I want to go ahead and download the new attire for a Rhea Ripley, the new attire for a Seth Rollins. You know that man has a mountain of them, frequently at that. New attire for John Cena, for Logan Paul, for The Undertaker when he came out with that beanie and whatnot. I would love to be able to go ahead and have that sort of thing right there. Communications to people like Status are noted for a reason. No, y'all let me know your thoughts. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Keep your boy on Twitch, Twitter, the main YouTube. You know the whole gist by now. Yeah, see ya. And again, free Status.